So on this video, this is integrated 2. This is on the classwork dilations worksheet number 1. Each of these is going to be dilated, okay, stretched or shrunk from the center of the dilation at the origin, okay? So there's going to be two ways you can think about this problem. One way is to count from the origin how you're moving to each point and then times that by the dilation. So for D, I'm going to be going to up. So now I'm going to double that. So I'm going to go up 4. To H, I went to the right one. So I'm going to double that. So I'm going to go to the right 2. Now this one here, I'm going down 1, left 1. So I'm going to double that distance. So I'm going to go down 2, left 2, and I'm going to put a point there. Now, that was me counting how far it is from the origin. Something else you can do is you can list the coordinates out. So D is 0, 2, H is 1, 0, V is -1, -1. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to times the X and the Y by 2. And when I times the X and the Y by 2, I'll get my new point. So this one is now going to be at 0, 4. This one's going to now be at 2, 0. This one's going to be at -2, -2. And if you look at these coordinates, this is at 0, 4, and this is D prime. I need to write the D prime there. This is at 2, 0, and again, that's my H prime. And my V is at -2, -2, which is my V prime. So you can either count from the origin the distance that you are moving to each of those points and then times that distance by your dilation. Or you can take all the coordinates and times each coordinate by the dilation. So when I'm looking at this next one, I want a dilation of 4, okay? So I am going to, this is 1 above, so now it's going to be 2, 3, 4 above. This is going to be 1 to the right, so now it's going to be 2, 3, 4 to the right. This is down 1, left 1, so I'm going to do that 4 times. Down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. And this is going to be my V. Let me make that a little smaller. This is going to be my V prime, my A prime, and my J prime. And then I can connect them. And there's my graph. Again, could have also multiplied the coordinates by 4. On 3 and 4, this time I have a dilation of 1/2 and I have a dilation of 1.5. And unlike these ones, which has the origin in the middle of our shape, kind of, these ones don't have the origin anywhere near the shape. So for number 3, I'm going to do it 2 ways. I'm going to show if you're just counting the distance, what you would do. So what you're concerned with is you are concerned with, let me just make this a little, that should be fine. The distance from the origin, okay? Because that's where I'm dilating it from. So to M, I want it to be half as the distance. So I'm going down to the right 3. So I'm going to go half of that. So half of 2 is 1, half of 3 is 1 and a half. So I'm going to be right here at 1 1/2. Okay, that's going to be my M prime. To F, I went down to the right 4. So I'm going to go half of that. So down 1, right 2. For L, I'm going down 5, right 1. So I'm going to go half, which is going to be down 2.5. So half of 5 is 2 1/2. and half of 1 is a half. And then this one here is down 5/5, so it's gonna be half of that's gonna be negative 2.5 and negative and 2.5 across, 1, 2, and half. And so let me just label those. So this is my M prime, F prime, W prime, L prime. And when I connect those, there's my shape. And for this one, again, I could have taken the coordinates where M is 3 comma negative 2, F is 4 comma negative 2, L is 1 comma negative 5, and W is 5 comma negative 5, and times each of these by a half. Okay, I'm just going to write it at the top. And when I do, this would have been 1.5 comma negative 1, 2 negative 1, 0.5 negative 2.5, and 2.5 negative 2.5. And you can see those coordinates match up. 1.5 comma negative 1, 2 comma negative 1, a half negative 2.5, and a negative 2, I'm sorry, a 2.5 comma negative 2 and a half. Okay, on the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for this one, 1.5, I'm just going to list the coordinates for this one. So P is at negative 3, 1. Z is at negative 3, negative 3. And I is at negative 1, negative 3. And we are going to multiply everything by 1.5, by 1.5. And when I do, I'm going to do this in blue just in case it ends up over in the other picture a little bit. So this is going to be a negative 4.5 comma 1.5, a negative 4.5, negative 4.5, a negative 1.5, negative 4.5. So that's what I'm going to plot. So I'm going to go to negative 4.5, 1.5. I'm going to go to negative 4.5, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. And I'm going to go to negative 1.5 and negative 4.5. So that's going to be here. And that is going to be P prime, Z prime, I prime, and let me connect them. And there's our picture. 5. Okay. My U is at 1 comma negative 1 comma 3. My Y is at negative 2, negative 1, and my M is at negative 5, 1. And we are timesing each of these by a half. And so I'm going to have negative a half comma 1.5, negative 1 comma negative 0.5, negative 2.5 comma 0.5. And then I am going to plot these. Okay, so I'm going to go to -0.5, 1.5, about. So -0.5, 1.5. I'm going to go to -1, -0.5. I'm going to go to -2.5 and a positive 0.5. And this is my U prime, my Y prime, my M prime. Connect them. And there's my picture. On number 2, T is at 0,2, U is at 2,0, M is at -1, -2, and E is at -2, 2. And for each of these, we are doubling. And so I'm going to get 0, 4, 4, 0, -2, -4, -4, 4. And I'm going to plot those. So 0, 4, 4, 0, -2, -4, -4, positive 4, and this is T prime, U prime, M prime, E prime, and I'm going to connect. Now on this one, I'm going to plot them and then do the dilation. So I'm going to plot them in orange, the original one. Okay. So my first point is going to be at -1, 0. I have a point at 1, 2. I have a point at 0, -2. Okay. So I'm gonna draw these out. This is my K. This is my C. This is my U. Connect them. And then I'm going to dilate it too. So all of my new values are going to be -2, 0, 2, 4, and 0, -4. So I'm going to go to -2, 0. I'm going to go to 2, 4. I'm going to go to 0, -4. C prime, U prime, K prime. I'm going to connect them. And there's my new picture. On the next one, let me plot these points. So I'm going to have negative, I was going to do it in orange, sorry. -1, 0, 0, whoops, 0, 2, went the wrong direction, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 1. Okay. And this is my Z, my G, my E, and my W. And I'm going to connect them. And then it's a dilation of 2.5, so I'm going to multiply everything by 2.5, so this is going to be negative 2.50, 0, 5, 2.55, and negative 2.5, negative 2.5. So negative 2.5, 0, 5 is going to be up here. 2.55 is going to be up here. And negative 2.5, negative 2.5. And so this is W prime, Z prime, G prime, and E prime. And I'm going to connect them. And there's our new picture. On 9, let me plot these. So negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, 1, 3, 1. So that is going to be L. Sorry, it's not L. This one was L. K and Q. And I connect these. And then I'm going to times everything by 1.5. And when I do, I'm going to get a negative 1.5, negative 1.5, a negative 3, comma 1.5, a 4.5, comma 1.5. So negative 1.5, negative 1.5, negative 3, 1.5, and 4.5, 1.5. And this is my L prime, my K prime, my Q prime. And I'm going to connect those. And that's my new picture. On 10, negative 4, 2, negative 4, 4, and 0, 4. So that is VMS. Everything's going to be 1/4 as much. So this is going to be negative 1, and then 1/4 of 2 is 2/4, which is 1/2. 1/4 of negative 4 is a negative 1. 1/4 of 4 is 1. 1/4 of 0 is 0. 1/4 of 4 is 1. So I'm going to go to negative 1.5. I'm going to go to negative 1, 1. And I'm going to go to 0, 1. And this is V prime, M prime, S prime. And I'm going to connect this, and that's 1/4 of the original. On this last section, write a rule to describe each transformation. So what I am doing is I am going to be looking here and noticing that I'm going to -1, 1. Okay, so my original one was at -1, 1. And then the one in blue is now at 1, 2, -2, 2, which means that I am doubling this. Okay. So this is a dilation of 2 centered at 0, 0, which is everything on this worksheet 0, 0. And this other one here, if I'm looking at my original, let's say I look at K, it looks like K is at -1, 2, 3, -4, -1. And it looks like K prime is at -1. And it looks like I'm assuming it's going to be a -1/4. The way to double check, and actually I should have done this in blue, -1, -1/4, is what am I doing here to get here? And that is I am timesing it by 1/4. And so this is going to have a dilation of 1/4 centered at 0, 0.